Good afternoon. So I just thought I would check over on the War News 24/7 website. It's probably a good idea that we all keep a close eye on that website. They have a lot of information over there that you won't normally see, especially on American media, but even on other alternative, even RT a lot of times don't have some of the stuff that they'll have over on War News 24/7. It is a Greek website, so you will need the capability to either read Greek or be able to translate it. Like I use Google Chrome, it does it for me. And anyway, there's a concerning article on there right now, and we really do need to be keeping a very close eye on this situation. As things unfold, it seems to me the more likely that this is going to expand into a major event. And I mean, I don't know where the beginning and end of this event could wind up. This could absolutely be the War of Wars. The headline, as you see, let me bring it up here, and I'll leave the link to this down in the description of the video. Remember, you'll have to translate it. Headline is Lebanon is also being evacuated. U.S. sends 2,000 additional troops and USS Bataan to Israel and Iran. We are approaching 0 hour for the region. Okay? So, and we knew that, I covered last night on the show that they were sending, at least to the one region, they were sending a second carrier. So, this here says the U.S. is mobilizing an additional 2,000 U.S. troops as fears of a second front against Israel heighten. A while ago, Iran's foreign minister said that the expansion of the war between Israel and Hamas is becoming more and more inevitable. The time for political solutions is running out, and the possible extension of the war to other fronts is approaching the inevitable stage. Earlier, Hezbollah claimed responsibility for a series of attacks against Israeli positions on the Lebanon-Israel border, as well as an ATGM attack on a Merkava tank. Hezbollah emphasized that it hit 5 Israeli sites named Maskaf Am, Kirbet al-Manar, Hormon, Risha site, and Ramya site. I probably pronounced every one of those incorrectly. The IDF spokesman confirmed that Merkava tank was targeted by an anti-tank missile on the border with Lebanon without providing further details. And this here subheadline, Iran, the U.S. is already involved military in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Now, look, we could debate, we could go back and forth about how much involvement the United States has up to this point. I'm sure that they're giving them intelligence, any and all intelligence that they can. But other than that, I'm sure, I'm sure we've got, because there's American hostages. So I am sure that there is American involvement on some level. I think all of us pretty well understand that. However, we can't go by what we think of as American involvement. We have to go by what Iran thinks as, American involvement or U.S. involvement. Says here the United States is already heavily involved in the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians and must be held accountable, an Iranian official said Monday. Must be held accountable for what we've already done. Okay? The U.S. is ramping up its firepower in the Middle East in response to the war between its ally Israel and Iran-backed Hamas militants amid fears of a regional conflict. Asked if Tehran would get involved if the U.S. entered the fray, Foreign Ministry spokesman Nassar Kanani said Iran considers the United States already involved militarily in the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians. The crimes of the Zionist regime are committed with the support of the United States, and Washington must be held accountable, he added at a press conference. Here it says 2,000 Americans ordered to prepare. According to the Wall Street Journal, the U.S. military has ordered about 2,000 troops to prepare for a possible deployment to support Israel, U.S. defense officials said. The troops are tasked with missions such as counseling and medical support, the officials said, and are drawn from all U.S. armed services. These troops are currently stationed in both the Middle East and Europe, with the potential to deploy Israel and surrounding countries if needed within the next week. Sorry, I'm missing. Mail lady came and I was seeing her and missed a couple of words there. According to multiple U.S. defense officials, USS Bataan's amphibious assault force, consisting of USS Bataan LHD-5 and USS Carter Hall LSD-50, that LSD, that's some pretty crazy stuff, as well as approximately 2,500 Marines with the 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit are now en route to the eastern Mediterranean from the Arabian Sea. A similar deployment order was received by the USS Mesa Verde LPD-19, which was in Spain and is already moving towards the southern Mediterranean. This is the part about them evacuating Lebanon. As the crisis in Gaza, the West Bank, and Israel continues to unfold, the security situation in the region is becoming increasingly volatile. British nationals in Lebanon should report their presence to the FCDO via the link on travel advice, British media reported. The FCDO, with a travel advisory, advises against travel to Lebanon, including areas south of the Litani River. The British Embassy has ordered members of its staff and their families to leave the country immediately. Finally, Canada asked its citizens to leave Lebanon. Canadians in Lebanon should consider leaving the country while commercial flights remain available, Canada's foreign minister said, according to Reuters. Swiss announced on Monday that it had suspended flights to and from Beirut due to border tensions between Israel and Lebanon. The suspension of flights applies in any case until October 28th, pending a reassessment of the situation. 4 flights from Zurich were called on 17, 19, 24, and 26 October. And then the rest is kind of going back into the further backs. That is just the one other blurb there. Don't touch this, you'll pay a heavy price. So I'm telling you, if there's any of the skirmishes that concern me on any level worth mentioning, it really truly is this one. It really truly is this one. Because see, the simple truth of the matter is, we don't have control over any of the parties involved here. Right? Not even a little bit. You know, we can sanction Russia, we can do all the stuff we've done with Russia. How much harm has it done them? We're the ones hurting. We're hurting, you know, the EU, the UK, all of us are hurting because of these sanctions against Russia. But Russia is actually doing pretty well. So what are we going to do? Because for one, they're not going to sanction Israel. And for two, isn't Iran already like as sanctioned as you... I mean, how much more could you do? I mean, how much more could you do? See, as Putin had talked earlier and continues to say, you know, his biggest hang-up is an existential threat. An existential threat, and with good reason. I mean, anybody should be willing to fight tooth and nail over an existential threat. That's what we're dealing with here. See, Russia-Ukraine has never been an existential threat. Never has. It's been all exaggerated and exploded, and all Russia wanted to do was take in the regions in which the people that wanted to be a part of Russia lived in. What? Donetsk, Lugansk, and Kherson, if I'm not mistaken? And that would have been that. That would have been that. But because of the U.S. involvement, Ukraine won't sit down at the table. We don't have that level of control in this situation either way. We don't have any way to affect this situation diplomatically, politically, only militarily. And that's pretty much the situation all around. Would you say not? I mean, Israel, pretty much the only thing left is militarily, same as with the Palestinians and Hamas, and including all of their backers, including Iran and Russia, China, and blah, blah, blah. You know, and I know Russia's not, China's been a little bit more straightforward with their support. Well, of the Palestinians. They haven't really said they supported Hamas, and neither has Russia. They both say that they support the Palestinians, though, and there is a big difference in between the two. I get it, and I respect their stance. I have much the same stance. I'm not going to pick a side when it comes to killing and war and all of that, because, come on now. Come on now. Are we supposed to? And folks really do need to put the Father back in their lives a lot more. We're not supposed to be all giddy and picking sides when people are dying, people are suffering. Not what we're supposed to be doing. Anyway, I digress on that, I reckon. Keep an eye on this. This one is concerning because for many involved, it's existential. And that is probably the biggest factor of this whole situation that we really need to pay close attention to. Shalom.